Yet another Democratic lawmaker making a fool out of herself, embarrassing the Democratic Party with a ridiculous question about why there aren't enough women working in the manufacturing industry.
In this video, Anna Kasparian of the Young Turks reports on the Democrat Party's misplaced priorities. Anna Kasparian highlights a Democrat congresswoman that has an interesting theory as to why there aren't that many women working in manufacturing. You've got to trust me, you're going to love this one. With that, let's watch Anna Kasparian once again mock the Democrat Party.
I'm just wondering if just the name manufacturing sounds like a guy.
Well, that was yet another Democratic lawmaker making a fool out of herself, embarrassing the Democratic Party with a ridiculous question about why there aren't enough women working in the manufacturing industry. Could it be that the name manufacturing sounds like a guy? Or could there be other factors at play? Cenk, what do you think?
Oh, please stop. Please stop. Okay, I'm going to propose something that could end the Democratic Party a little bit later in the story. I don't want it. I don't want it. And I'm going to give you a little background on Schakowsky. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that was Representative Jen Schakowsky, Democrat, of course. And I mean, like, what is she proposing here? What is she suggesting? Should we call it manufacturer? And maybe more women will take manufacturing jobs? Like, what is going on? Anyway, and by the way, she asked that question to a literal MIT professor. And so let's get into the details of the hearing and what this was all about. So last Tuesday, the subcommittee, a subcommittee in the House was basically focusing on why there aren't many young people or women involved in manufacturing jobs. And here's the full question from Jan Schakowsky.
Just when you think Democrats can't say any more stupid stuff, you hear manufacturing sounds like a guy. What is she talking about? You couldn't even make this stuff up. If you saw it in like a movie or TV show, you'd be like, that's stupid. That wouldn't happen. Doesn't it seem like if you follow politics at all, the list of sound bites of Democrats saying truly objectively dumb shit is never ending? I'm sure that if you're a hardcore lefty, you'd say the same thing about Republicans, but rarely do I hear the right spouting pure nonsense compared to the left. Just based on this one statement, if I was a Democrat, I'd rethink my entire ideology and say, yeah, I don't think I want to be associated with this ridiculousness. Even Anna, a longtime hardcore progressive, started out the segment saying, well, there it is, yet another Democrat lawmaker making a fool out of herself. She's even acknowledging that this is a regular occurrence that makes the party look like a clown show. It's so bad. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Yesterday, I met with a manufacturing company, but they also are engaged in getting young people more engaged in manufacturing. So I asked them, so how many of those students that are signing up and want to do this, how many are women? And they said, well, I know there's at least 13% or something. It was a low number. And you had mentioned trying to engage more women in manufacturing. I'm just wondering if just the name manufacturing sounds like a guy. And how can we get more? Certainly there's a lot of room for women. What are you doing to make that happen?
So just so you have all the full details, this is the subcommittee on commerce, manufacturing, and trade. And so the MIT professor, Elizabeth Reynolds, who Schakowsky was addressing, basically paid no mind to the manufacturing sounding like a guy comment. Instead, she decided to address how the lack of women has more to do with the shortage of workers in the manufacturing industry overall. So let's take a look at her answer.
Thank you very much for that question. And it's very important, particularly given the shortage of workers we've just been talking about. Half a million currently and close to 2 million within 10 years. We need to bring everybody into the manufacturing workforce, including women, who represent about 30% of the workforce today, underrepresented given that they're 46% of the total workforce in the country. So I think there are a number of things that we could be doing.
If you like watching videos like this one, like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video.
First point is to say that the kind of manufacturing we're talking about now with AI and automation and all of the type of developments we're talking about really should change the view of manufacturing in this country. Historically, we think of it as dirty, dull, physically laborious. That's completely gone now in the 21st century. And I think that will be helpful in terms of attracting the next generation into manufacturing.
And I should note that manufacturing employment among women is actually on the rise, rising to 62,000 post pandemic, up to 2022. And that's compared to an additional 5,000 men taking manufacturing jobs in the same time period. And if you look at this graph, it kind of shows you there are comparable men and like a comparable percentage of men and women taking these manufacturing jobs in recent years. So this isn't really a gender issue or a sex.
I know this clip is about manufacturing jobs, and I'll get to that, but I want to take a look at this Congresswoman, Jan Schakowsky. I bet if I gave you 3 or 4 guesses of what state she's from, 90% of you would get it. She's from one of the worst blue states in the country, Illinois, no surprise there, and she's 80 freaking years old. Can we get these octogenarians out of Congress on both sides of the aisle? I don't care. What are they doing there? Go retire. You've made your tens of millions of dollars and bilked the American people out of their money. So you've done what you're there for. Let someone else try to govern. But wouldn't you be mortified if you voted for this person? She's been in Congress for 26 years. Seriously, who's voting for her? All the young and middle-aged people she relates to so well? Truly, I think this all the time about dumb Democrat politicians. It's a mystery I'll never understand who's voting for these people. As far as why young people and women aren't going into manufacturing, I think the MIT professor makes a good point that there have been advancements in technology or AI, whatever, where maybe there is more of a place for women in manufacturing. However, naturally, biologically, whatever you want to say, women aren't drawn to this type of work. They're just not. That's the answer. You can make a hardcore press to get more women into manufacturing jobs if you want, and that may increase a little bit, but ultimately they don't want to do this stuff. And even though there have been technological advancements, there's still safety risk and physical demands, and in some cases there are probably jobs a woman just can't do. As far as young people, the STEM fields pay the most and they're more attractive. So the manufacturing industry as a whole needs to do some kind of campaign, get the word out there about the benefits of careers in manufacturing, because I'm sure there are. I'm sure that it is a great career, but it's not the first thing that comes to mind when you're a kid and you think, what do I want to do? I think there is still a perception of dirty, grueling, physically demanding work. But the women one's a no-brainer. Young people, I think, just need to be more educated on the industry, the advancements made in the industry, and what type of jobs are out there. Because I'll be honest, I've worked for a long time, and I don't know a ton about the different opportunities within manufacturing. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Issue. It's more about the fact that there are shortages of workers in these manufacturing jobs. And that is to say, whenever there's a labor shortage, that means the workers got a little bit of leverage. You know what I'm saying? That's when you can actually negotiate for higher wages, better benefits. So if any of our viewers are working in the manufacturing industry and you're noticing a labor shortage that's impacting your place of work, maybe consider organizing the workplace. Or if you don't want to do that, renegotiate what you're getting paid.
Yeah. So make the best of the situation because the situation is here, whether you like it or not. Okay, look, back to the fun stuff for a second, and then I'll tell you about Schakowsky. So this is like peak absurdity. Like the Democrats have to cut this crap out. I mean, thank God she didn't say, should we call it womanufacturing? Like if she had done that, we're toast. We'd lose every election.
So it's not just Anna. Even insane leftist Cenk knows the Democrats look like idiots. I love how the story is not about unions or anything, but TYT is obsessed with unions and stuff like that. So they have to wedge it in there. But I do think to attract more young people to these manufacturing jobs, maybe you do need to look at what the jobs pay, or maybe they pay really well. And again, there's just not education out there. So I think education about the opportunities in the industry is the biggest thing. But beyond all the manufacturing talk, what this clip did most for me was reinforce my belief that all Democrats are morons. But we want to hear from you. What do you all think about this ridiculous congresswoman and saying manufacturing sounds like a guy? What do you think about Anna and Schenk's commentary? Let us know in the comments. Anyway, as always, really appreciate you watching, and we will see you in the next one.